Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. My son, 23, and his fiancée, 23, are getting married in early September. I, 44 female, was assigned coral as my color and picked out a fancy Calvin Klein dress in coral. It's called the Starburst dress, and it's a satin-type material. She wanted me to try it on the other day and has now decided it's not motherly enough and wants me to wear this ugly chiffon pantsuit. I told her I'm fine with what I got, and I'm not sure precisely what the issue is with my dress. I offered to wear a shawl if my shoulder showing is the issue, but she said no, it's too sexy, period, and I need to look like a mother and dress my age. I told her she's being ridiculous and I would rather just not go. Now she's all mad and my son is upset and trying to mediate. Am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. I've googled the Calvin Klein Starburst dress. It's basically a shift dress cut just above the knees, sleeveless with wide shoulder straps and a wide boat neck. It has gathers, tucks, and pleats at the hip and waist that create a wide starburst of about 6 pleats from shoulders to low hip. It's very business tidy and not sexy at all. So this means the OP must look damn hot to carry it and look sexy. And daughter-in-law wants her in a floaty chiffon 60-year-old outfit of many layers and basically designed for a woman with a broad spread. This means OP looks really hot and daughter-in-law is sour because she doesn't want a hot-looking mother-in-law. Let daughter-in-law buy the chiffon outfit. Wear the Calvin Klein dress. Everyone wins. Edit. Someone has rightly pointed out that the groom's grandmother deserves better. Update is to offer it to the bride's mother. That should sort the entire matter out. Either she wears it or she recoils in horror. Problem solved. The Calvin Klein is gorgeous. Very clean, elegant, classic. More than appropriate for someone's mid-40s. Your future daughter-in-law's comment about dressing your age? Yeah, I'm guessing her mom is older than you and she's trying to make you look frumpy. Not the bonehead. Tell your son that the outfit his bride chose is something that a geriatric person with little to no sense of style would choose. You're 44. You've chosen a very appropriate dress and will not be wearing the pantsuit monstrosity. Maybe ask your son what the real issue is. Your future daughter-in-law is definitely trying to embarrass you. I'm 4 years younger than OP, and I would be livid if someone told me to dress my age and suggested that ugly pantsuit. Not the bonehead. I'm not that far from 70, and I guarantee you none of my friends would be caught dead in that pantsuit. Ask me again when I'm 95, but I doubt that would change. Another commenter said, I was thinking the same thing. I'm 46 and would never. My granny lived to 91 and would never. You and your friends near 70 would never. I don't think this is about age. It's about dulling the appeal of OP, who chose an entirely appropriate dress. That the Calvin Klein is flattering and to OP's taste doesn't make it inappropriate. One commenter said, ugh, the Golden Girls called and want their pantsuit back. Not the bonehead. Another commenter replied, I don't think even the Golden Girls want that suit back, to be honest. OP, your dress, I googled it, seems like a much better choice. For context, I, 23, met my boyfriend, 24, when we were housemates in college. We're currently living in America, where he's from. I'm Irish. I've been living with boyfriend for 5 years now. Last year, I rescued a beautiful spaniel puppy, Puka, after her mother had been in an accident. Her old family wasn't equipped to take care of a 3-week-old puppy, so we took her in. Unfortunately, when she was 7 months old, a family member of mine was in a serious accident and passed away. I decided to take the risk and fly home for the funeral. My boyfriend decided to come with me and his parents agreed to take in Puka. Of course, COVID got us and we ended up being gone for just over a month instead of a week. When we got back, we went straight to his parents' house to collect our dog, but I knew straight away something was wrong. The dog they had wasn't mine. Looked identical, but was missing identifying marks. I lost my cool and started yelling at them, but they denied everything and said I was just stressed and tired. After a very heated argument, his parents revealed that my dog was just too much work and they traded her in for a better trained one. I was angry and told them to give me back my dog or I would sue. Now here's where I might be the bonehead. Last week, 2.5 months after the fight, I got a call from a vet saying they had a dog that was registered to me. Apparently, the family who took her in didn't know anything. They were devastated but agreed she was my dog, especially after seeing how she reacted to me, and gave her back. Now Puka is fine. She had a fantastic time with a loving family when she was gone, but I'm still mad. I feel like I can't trust my boyfriend's parents anymore and feel like this would be a wake-up call. So am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. Legally speaking, a dog is considered property. They gave your property away to someone else. You and probably that family who didn't know can sue. OP replied, they're thinking about it. Puka is fantastic with kids and quite the character. They have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old. All of them were heartbroken. Not the bonehead, and they most certainly cannot be trusted. Keep up the lawsuit. It was emotional trauma for the dog and a lie to you. OP replied, we aren't planning on asking for much, especially now that we got her back. It's more just so they'll take us seriously. OP also said, I know it's petty, but I'm just mad and kind of want to put them in their place. Plus the family who they sold her to are extremely upset because she was an absolute star. Honestly, not the bonehead. They were supposed to care for your animal, not sell and replace it because they didn't like how it behaved. I agree with other users. If you withdraw, it shows them what they did was okay, and it wasn't. OP replied, the worst thing was she was fully trained. She's highly motivated by treats. When the new family got her, she would bark once at the door to go potty, would rarely beg, unless it was chicken, then good luck. She knew how to give high fives, sit, wait, dance, very important life skill, and walk well on the lead. She was only untrained because she wanted to be exercised, and we had yet to train her to be off the leash, and her recall wasn't the best. The dog they got was literally just house trained and could walk off leash, which is why they replaced her. I just flew home with my family from a holiday. My dad paid for everything. On the plane, some guy wanted to switch seats with me so he could sit with his wife. I know my dad paid extra for our seats for extra legroom, but I'm not tall and don't need it. So I told the guy I would trade him if he gave me $200. He got all offended and said I could just be a nice person. I said if he doesn't want to trade, it's fine by me. He went away and I sat beside his wife all the way home. She seemed nice. My mom says I was a jerk to offer to trade places for money. I should either have said no or done it to be nice. But my dad paid for those seats, so I don't see why this guy should get to upgrade for free. Am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. He wanted the extra room for free. You're not obliged to switch seats. If he really wanted to, he would have paid up. Not the bonehead. I love this. When you pay extra for a better seat and some random person in the back wants to trade, you're under zero obligation to trade. Why shouldn't they pay the extra? Recently, I asked to trade seats with someone so I could sit next to my traveling companion. Same aisle seat. They got to move one row closer. That's a pretty fair trade. But they didn't have to say yes. Not the bonehead at all. I mean, $200 is a bit steep, but he should have paid for connected seats. I literally cannot stand these people who purchase the least expensive tickets with no assigned seats and then bank on other travelers' generosity. I always prepay for my seat, and I'm not going to give it up just because somebody is a cheapskate. Not the bonehead. This is hilarious. He said a nice person would switch just because he asked. Yeah, what he actually meant was doormat. Between the ages of 12 to 17, my mother was moving me from one psychologist or therapist to another, claiming they weren't a good fit for me. I found out years after that she was offering them cash under the table to tell her what I was saying and probe me on particular issues she had covered up to determine how much I knew or suspected. When they refused, she switched them. I found out a few years ago that the last guy she took me to, ages 15 and a half onward, a psychiatrist she left me with for over a year, not only did take the extra money to tell her what I was sharing, which I already kind of knew, but the medication he put me on was at her request. There was no medical reason for me to be on any medication, and on top of that, the medication mix I was prescribed was a no-no to combine due to serious counteracting. The medication had a demonstratively harmful effect on my general health, with side effects I still suffer to this day. I lawyered up, gathered overwhelming and indisputable proof, and started the legal process to sue the living hell out of him. Realistically and conservatively, we're looking at a mid to high 7-figure amount. A few weeks ago, he had a heart attack and died. I ran into, or was ambushed by, his widow recently. She was remarkably collected, or numb, and informed me that she did not have the mental bandwidth to handle this lawsuit as she was grieving and taking care of the kids, 2 kids between 8 and 12 years old, I believe, as he was the sole breadwinner. She also let me know that they did not have the ability to pay out the amount the lawsuit would probably settle for, and she would have to drain college funds and sell their family house, cabin house, and a place that houses her parents, leaving them, herself, and the kids homeless, 5 people. She begged me to accept a much lower settlement offer and not rob her kids of not only their father, but also their childhood home, all of their memories, and their future. Here's where I could be the bonehead. I told her no. Nothing else. Looked in her eyes and just said, no. From what my lawyer advised me, you do not engage in conversations with people you're legally opposing. I started walking away and she teared up, saying his heart attack was from the stress of the lawsuit, asking, do I really want to punish little children for what their father did? I told her, do not contact me again, and got out of the store. Knowing their situation, I am now having a moral dilemma. Even at 7 figures, I will not miss this amount, but I could do good with it. I've also lost my father young, so I know how devastating it would be to lose a home as well. But as much sympathy as I have for his family, it is on my torment he had built their life, and not just mine, as we have discovered. My lawyer, fiancé, and family encouraged me to let it play out. Am I the bonehead if I don't settle for less? Edit 1. Won't his insurance cover this incident? Most medical malpractice policies do not cover liability that arises from criminal acts and inappropriate alteration of medical records, both of which he did and are included in the lawsuit. So his policy does not cover everything. Edit 2. Will you also sue your mother? There will probably be legal action taken as well against my mother, but for now, I'm taking one lawsuit at a time as they are expensive and mentally draining. Suing the psychiatrist was much easier than suing my mother, so we started there. After this is done, we will explore options. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. His familial wealth and ability to own all that he owned and create the college funds and the living situation his family has or had were partially built on his unethical behavior. They drew the benefits of his unethical actions, let them draw the consequences. If they have homeowners insurance and if he had malpractice insurance, some of those may help cover the settlement. The malpractice insurance may be able to wiggle itself out from any liability because he was doing something illegal, but other insurance may help. Not the bonehead. Their family home and cabin was paid for at the very least with your pain and illegal medicating, of which you're still suffering the repercussions. And from how many others did he hurt to save for his kids' college fund? Study on and take care of yourself. Not the bonehead. Usually they also have insurance for this kind of thing. He broke every oath he took and made extra money off you. I don't like the idea of the family suffering, but he took the money and used it on his family. It's hard, but what she did was wrong. She should have had her legal representative handle contact with you. If you didn't have professional indemnity insurance, that's not your problem. Since the person you were suing is dead, have your legal representatives told you how it works or if you can still sue? OP replied, yes, my lawyer has clarified that we are now suing his estate. Not the bonehead. There are 2 options here. First, she's telling the truth. Everything she says would happen. Here's the thing. Even if this is the case, you still deserve compensation for your suffering, both past and continued. Courts do not simply award 7-figure settlements like candy. Your experience was clearly horrifically traumatic and you deserve to be compensated. Option 2. She's lying. What she's not telling you is that her in-laws have backup college funds for the kids. By homeless, she means she'll have to rent rather than own, and she might have to sell 3 properties, but she has enough other possessions that she can sell and buy a new home. She's blaming you for trying to hold one of your abusers to account. She's saying that you trying to get justice for being medically abused as a child is what killed her husband. She's telling you you've already killed her husband, so you owe her. She's trying to guilt you. OP replied, you know, this is why I'm torn indeed. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and imagine she found out that instead of living the lifestyle she was because her husband was a renowned and respected professional, he was a scumbag which could have devastated her, then realized she has kids with this monster. Then they are being sued for every penny he ever made, probably being shunned by her friends in the medical community, and then he dies on her. I mean, that would mentally destroy me as well, so I can understand her pain if it's real. If it's not, I see the vote is overwhelmingly not the bonehead, so I'm happy to let it play out. But if their lawyer comes up with a settlement offer that I can live with, without draining college funds at least, I'll probably accept it. Regardless of whether she knew or not, my beef was with him, not her. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like these stories, please consider subscribing. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.